All right, been looking at high dividend stocks. We want a portfolio as close to 10% dividend as possible with some filters, certain companies I don't want in there. So what we've been talking about lately, I just looked at UPS yesterday, Walgreens the day before. Now, common theme going on, and with the company I'm looking at today, all pretty down on their stock price lately. Performance for the company the last years. Also, we're coming, it's 2024, and these are all companies that with the last 5 years since 2020, they've had various market conditions and things because of the economy and just the whipsawing events that we've had. They've taken up different levels of performance than maybe a standard set of 5 years or so. So, for instance, today, Boeing. I'm looking at Boeing. BA is the ticker. And when we look at the Dow Jones, there's only 30 stocks. It's just it's an index. It's just the name of an index that tracks 30 companies that relatively, if these 30 have gone up or down for the day, that's what they talk about when the Dow is up or down. It's just an index number in general, kind of weighted averaging. And the idea, though, is that these companies, these are what they call those blue chips, because they're solid businesses. They've been around many decades most of the time. I don't think who's the most recent addition I can remember. They don't change over very often, but we're looking at Boeing. And in the theme of Walgreens is beaten down in stock price like the last year or two. Yesterday, talking about UPS, also been trending down for 5 years. Today, Boeing also trending down. I think I gotta pull them up, but so the big difference for them, for dividends, Boeing is not paying a dividend right now, but yet they used to. That's a big deal, because this is the 2020 time, right? And so they were in the $400 a share, rocking and rolling in 2019. Now that's 737 MAX planes have been their big headline all this year with actually a lot of things. They've been in headlines with manufacturing issues or plane delays, plane problems, plane crashes, maintenance and things like that. It's a serious business, so there's a lot of safety that has to be accounted for, but they've been in business for decades doing it. They're the big one as far as like everyone has ridden on a Boeing plane. Airbus is another big manufacturer of aircrafts. Most of the time you're on one of those types of jets, and the deal here, so why they're not paying a dividend, right? Now they cut that when the 2020 shutdowns and stuff started happening, right? A lot of companies had to make a lot of big moves, so they reduced their dividend. Now when you do that, immediately funds, large money funds and things like that were holding the stock, they were holding it for that return. They have clients, they have performance to be held accountable for, so they are now holding a stock that's definitely going to trade down because people are going to sell the shares, and now it's not paying the dividend, so it doesn't have that cash flow, and it ruins the mechanics of holding it in the portfolio. So when you don't have cash flow anymore from the asset, people want to sell it even more. You get rid of it, and then the share price gets beat up even more. Then they've had just company performance and things like that, whether it's jet delays, shipments, things like that, and then these aircraft maintenance and crashes and things like that. So they're getting beat up. It's perfect time, because Boeing, like when I talked about UPS and Walgreens, Boeing, they have a major manufacturing operation. Jet airliners, right? These are huge. Boeing's they're in Seattle, so it's all made in the United States, assembled. That's a very hard business to get into. Like, there's not going to be another 5 years or something. There's someone knocked off Boeing's market share on delivering 400 and 600 passenger jets and things like that, and all sizes. They make all sizes, so that's another opportunity here, right? Because health of the company, all business has a going concern. So we expect that the longevity of the business, and that it's going to be in operation and going into the future basically endlessly, basically forever. There's no expected time where Boeing's going to shut its doors, right? They're going to be in business forever. That's called the going concern when you talk about financial or accounting, anything like that, decision making in the business. So management, CEOs, executives, and boards of directors, aside from being employees or serving the company in those capacities, whatever they are, they're paid in company stock. They have a lot of vested interest in the company stock's performance, which is the business's performance. So maintenance issues, maintenance needs to be maybe rechecked on certain planes, or maintenance and manufacturing processes. These are fixable things. You expect to solve this, right? They have to make planes that are safe. They have to make planes that have maintenance that's properly intervaled and understood, wear and tear on the jets and things like that. So that's and the aviation industry is talk about like the most, for safety and things. They have so many safety standards. So without getting into the financials, it's a pretty easy bet on a company that's going to be around, continue making jets. We have to have air travel. A lot of service aircraft, they get downcycled, so the old jets that are no longer passenger jets, those become cargo jets and things like that, but they all have a life. And with the new, like the 787 is a super efficient fuel engine, and the jet itself is made with different things like composites, and it's a very lighter aircraft for its size, and so there's going to be demand pulling in all those new efficient jets and things that are going to have fuel savings for the other businesses, the FedExes, the UPS, the Amazons. They got to keep buying jets, and fuel savings, and whether it's regulated by governments or just straight up business cost saving attempts, those are going to be commanding purchases from businesses to invest forward in their business. They're going to be doing capex, buying new jets, buying from Boeing. The conveyor belt of the economy basically keeps moving. That's my stance on why Boeing is going to be worth looking at. It's not worth acting on or anything just yet. And then the big deal here is the stock price is so pressed down because of that dividend. When they become cash flow positive and can pay dividends and things like that, when they got their company performance back where it needs to be, and they're just manufacturing jets and everybody's loving jets from Boeing again, when they reinstitute that dividend, the stock's going to take off, right? Because it becomes a cash flowing asset again. It's a Dow Jones 30 stock, blue chip. And like I said, to manufacture aircrafts, there's just so many, there's just nobody coming into this space. So it's another company that, like I said, the stock is down over the last 4 or 5 years on a company now. And there's other things we have to consider, all this EPS, they've been negative, right? That makes sense though. Everybody pulled their jet orders, but sales are rising again. This is just quick look stuff, right? And all the analysts have been downgrading them, giving them, neutral, hold, sell, whatever. That's great. That's when you'd want to buy. But I would look at it, and really that's not a dividend play, I guess, at the end of this all. It's the opportunity of the dividend that when it comes back, it's like a buy, hold, wait, and kind of bet on that, the next 4 years, manufacturing in this company and things like that should get picking up again. And if you believe in made in America and manufacturing and jobs and all that stuff, this is the type of company that employs 171,000 employees. So major player in the economy, major $110 billion market cap company right now. Sales are $74 billion. They just have to work out the business models. So going to be looking at that again. And as far as dividends and things like that, when they get going again, this should be a very beautiful investment. But we'll keep an eye on it and track those other dividend players, and talk to you later.